Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Hero Labs Live on this Monday afternoon, January 25th, episode 81, and ETH BTC just confirmed what I would say is probably the largest weekly candle confirmation in history. And that I say that not for hyperbole as much as, we got to talk about DeFi. What does DeFi mean for the world? Decentralized finance, displacing the seat of financial institutions. This is bigger than perhaps anything that's ever been built on Ethereum. The applications are extensive. They're very nascent, very young, very difficult to use, slow. They've got errors. There's hacks. But we see a longer term trend coming up, right? Like we've talked about on here before, the amount of the trillions and trillions of dollars in Japan, for example, sitting in negative yield. They are seeking yield. They've got all this value. They want somewhere where they can place it in a network, in a thing, in an account, in an asset, and see that that will produce some kind of yield. Negative yielding bonds left and right. So very exciting to see, to me, this ETH BTC breakout. And John, let's flip over to the chart. This ETH BTC breakout is basically the beginning of what I see as a potential massive trend shift. And that's not to say that Bitcoin is out of style at all. I think Bitcoin is in the midst of a very large bullish move. So large, in fact, that for weeks at a time, it can just basically chop around. And that's how big this move is. But when you see the applications of DeFi, it's hard to believe that Ethereum and all the things built on it and all the applications running through it and the value being placed in it and the use cases for it is just going to stay in this place where Bitcoin's dominating it. Bitcoin's great. Love it. World reserve currency, store of value, yes. But the transaction volume on Ethereum is skyrocketing compared to Bitcoin. And how many Bitcoin transfers have you guys made in the last few weeks? Well, I'll tell you what, I made over 50 Ethereum transactions in the last week, and I'm not even that big in DeFi. Just farming some wallets, moving some things around. So yeah, really excited to have you guys back on the channel. Having a little bit of technical difficulty around the camera stuff again. So weird. Really, really strange. We got an excellent producer. He and I have been sitting around trying to put our heads around this thing, checking permissions out of the blue. Just decided that my camera can be viewed by myself, but not by anyone else. So we're going to fix that somehow, some way. Actually just picked up a new Brio Logitech 4K. Didn't fix it, but we will have a better camera when it does come back. So for today, we're going to be on the charts, which is great because let's be honest, that's really what we want to see. So let's check in with the chat. Edge. Good to see you. Rex Tallboy, hello. And August is back. Paul Young Jr., shout out to Jonesy, Roman Zonov. And yeah, goosebumps from that intro as well. I get it every time. CFI entered price discovery. Yeah, we're definitely going to pull up CFI. Got a lot of things coming up. You guys got to check out their Medium post. I think there are a lot of people sleeping on that one. Still small. I have a hard time, still small market cap. I have a hard time buying things as they go into price discovery. I know that's a great time to think about buying things as far as like sky's the limit. And now for sure it's going there to some extent. But this is not a guarantee. But you know what I mean? Like price discovery is a very bullish place to be. But I'm so obsessed with pullbacks and RLZs and getting in at the lows and all that stuff that I have a hard time pulling those triggers. But I do have a bag of whatever you want to call it. CFI. Been looking into ONX Finance too. This is sort of my new moon bag. Shout out to Joel Birch. He's been on the show before. Founder over at Stacked Invest. And he pinged me one day. He's like, this is my moon bag. And I was like, oh, good enough for me. I'll throw a few bucks in. So that's been, look at this bottoming. It's starting to come out. We're going to get that up. In an attempt to fix the issues around the camera on the stream, I just did a whole bunch of cache reset. So if you guys have ever reset your cache on your Chrome, you understand the headache that comes with signing back into the whole world. So bear with me if any of these things are a little funky today. Yeah, like even to get my watch list on here, I'll need to reconnect my wallet, which I don't really want to do live on the air. Anyways, we'll check it out. Let's go CFI today. Yeah, she's in price discovery, all right. I mean, a very, very young chart, not a whole lot of data, only going back to November, which seems like ages in crypto, but really that's like a couple months, right? A lot of these projects, like that's what's exciting, right? Think about these projects. A lot will die, but some are going to be around for like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Some small handful. I mean, who knows? I won't pretend to know how many will, but some will be. Bitcoin, no doubt, in my mind, anyways. Ethereum, those charts were just going to have such distancy histories on them eventually. This one's 2 months old, very, very young. And after breaking out at what was basically a 50-cent coin at pre-sale, so this thing came out at like 10x up at the first run, consolidated really nicely, put in that little sweep down here on the panic last Monday, or whatever it was, 2 Mondays ago, the big dump. And then it's just been no looking back. So we do have a break to new highs on this thing. And, as you can see, my fib has been reset. Silly cash. So we won't get too far into that. Let's take a quick look at the Dixie. I did notice this morning, I was on a call with Nick earlier, who he sends his best, by the way. He had to, obviously you guys may have noticed he's not been on the stream. He has got a lot of other things going on and he's had to step away, but he's very much around. Follow him on Twitter. I chat with him fairly frequently still, and sends his best. And we were looking at the Dixie this morning. It's an interesting level. I mean, we knew there was going to be some noise down here. It wasn't probably going to cut through like butter. We're going to have to consolidate a little bit. So we're keeping a close eye on this. If this rallies, I mean, you can see here I've highlighted, the 2017 bull market for Bitcoin and crypto was really just like arguably just downside in the dollar. And the dollar did well through the entire bear market. The dollar peaked right as Bitcoin crapped out in March, 2013, along with all of the global markets. And then the big bull we had through 2020 was really just more of the same. So if this reverses, I don't think, and based historically, I'm not going to predict that Bitcoin is somehow going to go into a rip-face bull market while the Dixie is rising. So that's why we look at this chart. It's anything's possible. It's very unlikely to me that this could just like find a big retracement up here if it did. And suddenly Bitcoin's like, I'm going to rally too. It's just not really how this stuff works. So key level here. And, if you look at the monthly though, this is a big, long uptrend since 2011. And, we've lost the trend channel. So I was speculating here, do we get this? Do we squeeze up maybe over a couple months and have a little retest of that and go down? Possible. Otherwise, this just looks really bearish anyways. So the worst, I think it's probably a little retest there, which would probably amount, what's that, 92, 93 and a half, 93 and a half. There'd be like something like this is, whoop, 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 like that kind of thing, if you want to say that. How that happens with the amount of money printing that's going on and looks like it's going to continue to go on, I have no idea how that would happen. But it's possible. I won't rule it out. So for now, keeping an eye on the Dixie. It doesn't move too much. As you can see, it's like a 3-day and a monthly chart, but I like to check it on the Mondays. So we'll keep an eye on that for you and let you know how that goes. AMC is not anything to do with this show, but this stock just woke up today like crazy. I just want to give one big comment on the stock market. I think it's bullshit. I'm so against the idea of pre-market trading. I was looking at this on Friday and I was like, oh, I want to get some of this. Look at this volume. And then like before I am even allowed to trade it, it's like pre-market has taken it up to 4.5. Like, what the fuck is that? As a crypto enthusiast who's just getting into stocks a little bit for the sake of diversifying, that pisses me off. Crypto's 24/7. So big shout out to that bullshit. After hours, pre-market. I mean, who are these guys? They say it's like crypto's the Wild West. I don't know, man. I'd say that's a little shady. Only getting some people allowed to access the trade. So didn't pick up any of that. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. I think the big story obviously is ETH waking up, confirming big confirmation on the weekly, which you can see right here. I mean, that's huge. You've got basically since September 2018, when it broke below this level, it never regained it. And it just low meandering rounded bottom broke up. I mean, our whole bull market that we wouldn't call it a bull in the summer, that was just this. And then just dripping down. Interestingly enough, when you zoom out, this stuff looks so easy right after the fact, but check this out. Bink, sweet spot. There it is. All you had to do for generational wealth was plant bids there for your Bitcoin, switching it to ETH. Oh man, look at that. So easy. Never the case, but tongue in cheek there. But anyways, sweet spot tag and then just blast off. And this volume speaks volumes. So I cannot call tops on this. Hell no. This is the beginning of a breakout from a bottom. But what we have to keep in mind, and for that, I put out a little thread this morning on our Twitter, at Real Hero Labs on Twitter. If you guys want, you can follow us on there if you don't already. I'm basically doing 99% of the tweets on that. So you can follow me at randomtask555. And whatever I do on Twitter, it's one of those two accounts. Now, this is what I'm watching on ETH-BTC. So this is a weekly chart, right? Big, just ascending, broadening wedge, came down, which turned out to be the sweet spot, tap down here, regained the level, blasted right through to the top, which confirmed a really nice level breakout here. It doesn't mean we have to go straight up. In fact, the way that markets tend to go is, they make it really hard for you to get in on the best stuff. And I don't necessarily have the open interest data in front of me. We can pull that up today. But I was looking in the order books yesterday. I was actually blown away. I don't usually watch order books when I'm making a trade because they're often just a distraction. Hunt your levels, size your risk, get after it. A lot of what's in the order books is bullshit. But there was massive, massive sell orders just soaking up position size up here. 3 million, 10 million, 5 million sitting there on the books, thousands of ETH at a time. And they were just like getting bought up right here. And I was like, who's selling like these huge positions of Ethereum here, or, taking up massive short positions? But, people get to decide, whales get to decide where tops are locally. And it looks like they may have put one in here. And that would be totally normal, right? We talk about this all the time. In fact, you can already see it on this chart. You get your breakout here, confirm bullish structure, big breakout. And before the big fun starts, you got to go shake it all out, test the lows, whatever, and then go. So after these breakout confirmations, it's the easiest time to go long. You're just like, yeah, leverage up, let's go. And then you spend, I'm just speaking in conjecture here, but I feel like then you spend like 1, 2, 3 weeks just like being like, oh, I'm so wrecked. Bitcoin's waking up. It's decided it's going to come back and be cool. Just when you look left and stop paying attention, it's resting in the pump chaser zone, and then it's whatever. Like, that's something I think could happen. We could just stop here for a week and go. Who knows? But I am certainly watching this level. This is going to be such a sweet little retest. You can see perfect confluence with this. The bottom, perfect confluence with that wick high. This pump chaser zone, to me, represents possibly one of my best opportunities of the year, if I can have it. So keep that in mind. That's what I'm watching very closely. Chris Richards coming soon to OnlyFans. I don't know, man. I don't even know what that shit is. I hear about it. It's like people just getting sexy on camera. I don't know. I have no idea what OnlyFans is, except for I keep hearing about it. Good to see you, PMA Alex Boris. Welcome back. And DS, love having you here. If you have any great ideas, hit me up. We got lots of charts to look at. Yop, hot new DeFi project that launched recently, came out. I mean, this thing was a 5 cent pre, 5 cent seed, 5 cent public sale on PokerStarter. So everybody was living, who bought it prior was living in profits. And anyone who loaded up in the initial consolidation got paid handsomely here with about almost a 3x. And, most of you can probably already recognize now, without even me charting it, that we're sitting in the reload zone. Sitting, well, actually, we tested it. Depends where you draw it from. If you want to draw it from this consolidation low, 786 came in and supported. This is an area where, now I have a bag. So I'm not like, personally, I'm not rushing to buy, but this is an area where I'm certainly not thinking of like selling or changing my tune. But it's an area where I think if we can hold this and consolidate for a bit, that's where you probably are going to build a base here. And if you're building a base at 63 cents on a coin that was 5 cent fair launch, I mean, that's pretty dope. Yield optimization platform. So pretty cool. That's what I'm watching. Let's go see CFIs in price discovery. ONX. This chart it's it's at some sort of peaks, like it's up there, but zooming out, I mean, this is just a really nice looking base. This is everything I look for um, in a chart in one of these like kind of newer coins on Uniswap, because you're down in here, you're just putting this big lazy ass bottom. Ooh, look at that big volume coming in, nice little breakout, chilling, chilling, chilling. Looks like it hit the RLZ. This is before I heard about it. God, sorry guys. You know what? Let's just do this on stream. Let's just do it. Let's fix up this fib so we can have something nice to look at. 618 we don't need. The numbers on the right. Yeah. Note to self, never ever clear cache. Ever. Many beta products, right? And then they're like, hey, you just got to clear your cache and then you can keep playing. And I'm just like, I decided once a while ago that I'm never going to do it. But for the sake of the stream, I tried it today to fix the camera issue. It didn't help, but it was worth a shot. So let's see. This can be gray. And, looks like I even have to add my custom colors back. So I'll do that for the next one. Let's just get to it. We've got enough here to work with. Yeah. So, I mean, 6 stuff. Actually, I want this here too. Also, shout out to CCI. If you guys are watching from Cryptocurrency Investing on Facebook, great to have you guys. I know this is floating around on your feed up there. So if you tuned in today, big shout out to you guys. If you want and you want to click through, you can find us on YouTube. You can hit the like and the sub and the notification bell so that you get notified anytime we go live. We are toying with a new stream, possibly focused a little more around options. So I'm really excited about that. No official date launch for it, but it's in the works. So if that's something you wanted to learn more about, I personally need to learn a lot more about it. So we've got a specialist coming in. Pretty pumped about that. Anyways, neither here nor there. Great to have you if you're watching. Now, this thing, yeah, touch and go on the RLZ. But look at this volume. And so I have to ask myself, because you guys know me, I don't rush to buy things that just went up a whole bunch. So I have to ask myself, is this the beginning of something bigger? Is this the start? What's the inflation like? I mean, this thing's like what, 6 mil market cap, fully diluted 6 mil. I don't really worry about the inflation on this one at face value. I have not dove in deeply. I was looking at it this morning a little bit. So I'm taking this on a call from a guy, very much same old story, not financial advice, past performance, future performance, blah, blah, blah. But this is one that I've got a bag of, and it, this to me speaks to the beginning of something bigger. And so how do you get in? You didn't get the bottom. I didn't get the bottom, but look at that. The pump chaser zone, perfect tap yesterday. That's this morning, actually. That's a 4-hour. So just this morning, 133, same kind of thing. And I want to keep bringing these things up all the time, because you got to understand, you will miss stuff sometimes. I will miss things. I miss them all the time because I refuse to buy into a FOMO hype pump. But if I am patient and I draw this up and I follow it and I follow it and I follow it until it puts in a top, and then I just keep hunting these levels. Sometimes they get blown through, you stopped out, whatever, but they hit so often. They hit so often. And even if you're following it up to there and then you're buying it here, it's just the RR is so much better, risk to reward. The things you're risking versus what you might get from it on these chases, if it's a big pumpy market, which it is right now. So if you guys haven't looked into fibs and you're doing a little bit of basic TA, I highly recommend you start playing with these levels. 382 is a first stop, 0.5 is sort of like a sandwich zone, the pump chaser zone. And then, if Bitcoin decides to go crazy or things roll over, the majors cool off, often you'll find these little dips into these reload zones. Every one of those options is better than buying a top. So that's why we talk about it so much. Decent entry on MPH today. Ooh, that's what I want to hear. Been FOMOing MPH. Let's go take a look. It was going so hard that I I stopped looking. I was like, I missed it, which is silly thinking longer term. You need to keep an eye on certain things because, all markets, even through a bull, will go through periods of consolidation. Okay, so here's my take on this. And I am bullish on the project mostly because of who I know is bullish on it. Messi's bullish on it. He's done his research. I trust him enough that I don't need to do all my own due diligence. What I do need to do is apply my own trading plan to get in so that I don't end up buying some high getting squeezed out and then selling it because I don't share the same conviction as him, for example, right? Because if I don't do my own research and fully understand the project myself, I mean, I don't need to necessarily go speculate on it. But if I want to hold it through any kind of pause in the market or downside, I really need to understand it fully myself. And you guys probably figure that too, right? Like when you're following anybody else's ideas, it's very hard to hold through anything but upside or downside if it's a short idea, because you don't have your own conviction. So because I know I don't have my own conviction about this one yet, I had to pass up here. But okay, so here's what I see initially that's a little concerning, because you're thinking, okay, like this, yep, nice big breakout. Oh, on volume, let's get some white. And then, okay, cool, pullback, probably a pump chaser zone there. Push to new highs. Yeah, we're going to the moon. Uh-oh. No buyers showed up there. Like none at all. And then this tall candle, the one high volume, got smacked down at the end. So it was actually net selling. And since then, very subtly, you can actually see that the sellers are in control right now. And I'll show you why. They had a chance. The buyers had a chance to wake up, and now we're selling. I guess this could close green, and that would change this completely. So if this candle closed green and we have some new buyers' interest, this is the pump tracer zone. It's perfect. So I have to ask myself, what's my plan around MPH? Am I holding it for a quick double, try to get a free position, ride it for the year, DeFi hype wave? Yeah, let's go. Probably. This, weak continuation for now. Let's just say that. There's a new high on like zero anything. So I'm going to let this one chill for a bit. John, actually, you know what? Put it on the list, MPH. I talk about it all the time. I can get a little here if I need it, want it, such that I don't care if it does end up doing what often I find things do, right? Like just sink into that RLZ, basically retesting these breakout levels, totally normal stuff. Even this is the breakout level. And if that happens after I pick some up here, well, I just have to size such that I can actually add down there. And in the meantime, do enough research that I have the conviction to not really worry about it or care about it. So that's probably my look on MPH. Good shout, guys. Glad we brought that up, because this is one that as it was going, and then we talked to Ledger last Wednesday, and he's like, yeah, MPH, bonds, DeFi, let's go. I was like, oh, sounds good. Oh, Edge of Ledge, appreciate that. Do my very best. I share literally everything I know. I hold no secrets here. If I have a tool or a strategy that helps me, I will deliver it right to you. Because, I just think that's the best way to operate in the world. Sharing is caring. And I don't, there's some people who are like, well, if you really have an edge in the market, you don't share it with anyone. It's like, maybe I'm naive, but I feel like I can crush this market right along beside you guys. I don't think I have to hide anything. Keep it all secret. You guys drop, looks solid. CoinGecko said fully diluted is 6 mil. You talking about ONX? Yeah, it is, which is pretty intense. It's like basically all circulating. So this is on the top of my list for looking into, because I have a pretty sizable bag now and it's growing, and I need to know, how it works, because I will not hold through a huge fat retrace if I don't have a really good idea. Like I'll be very tempted to take profits if I'm in them. So I'm researching ONX tonight after the stream. Staking for rewards, fundamentals are looking good. Yeah, volume is hidden by the video frame. Oh, true. How can we fix that? John, producer, is there any way to cut the ticker for a little bit? Or is that, we have a wireframe that might actually be an all-in-one, guys. Unfortunately. It's the one thing about this darn ticker. There we go. Oh yeah, cooking with grease. Thank you, sir. Shout out to the producer, Johnny on the spot. So yeah, this is the volume I'm talking about. So you guys can see, right? Big volume breakout, lots of hype, lots of excitement. Going for new highs, follow through, pretty minimal. Somebody smacked it down here. They said, nah, I'm going to sell my big fat bag. So we'll see how this plays out. Bullish scenario, pump chaser zone, continue. Slightly less bullish scenario, RLZ, continue. And those are the two scenarios I see. I don't really see a hugely bearish one. This thing's small, it's new. But of course, there's always the chance that the market just sucks, but highly doubt it. I'm really just looking here. So I'm actually thinking I might pick some up here today. And then I'm mostly hunting there because, again, if I can load up in a zone like this and even wait for reversal, and then you get that breakout, confirms, and then, even like a few days later, you get the dip, and then it's like, oh. And you guys, it's boring. It's not very exciting. But look at this. What I did for Rook, it worked really well. There was a lot of people telling me to FOMO into Rook during this first pump. But I did not. I said, I can't. It's against my rules. Came down in here. Whoa. What the heck was that? What is going on there? Okay, there we go. Came down in here, put in bullish market structure, which to me just confirmed that the probability of going below this level was very low. And didn't chase it up here, just kind of hanging out. And I finally got around somewhere on my Twitter. I put it out like at $74. So like here, that I was like, okay, now I'm interested in Rook. This is looking interesting. And yeah, Bob's your uncle. Off she goes. So she's looking good. And, I wouldn't even be shocked no matter how bullish these things are. They all take little exhales. I picked up some here in this consolidation. That may be underwater sometime. I don't know. But you kind of have like a full cycle here for the Elliott wave look. A, B, C. Maybe retest these highs. And that's an opportunity for me. I'm bullish on this one. I'm excited about it, as are many, many, many smart people. So do we come and test these highs at some point? Probably. Maybe. I'm not going to sell what I have, but I am saving my bullets, because if we get into the mid 200s, suddenly that's a really exciting level for me to be thinking long. And who knows, right? ETH BTC maybe pulls back for a week or two. ETH USD obviously just made new highs. Let's get the 4 hour. Getting into this short reload zone, blasting through, sweeping the all-time highs last night and rejected. Not a great look. Not like, again, never bearish on this stuff, guys. Super Bowl on the year. But I just mean as far as local price action goes, it's not the greatest look. The fact that we're holding on to this really well is really good news, though. It's not like sweep and then just dump. That happens. That is not what happened so far. So we're kind of holding up here. ETH is incredibly bullish. DeFi incredibly promising. So if we get any more of this like fib pong, here's what, you can see, right? Nobody believes it's going to happen. And then bink right into it. Bink right back up to it. If we get another of that, let's take a look, because we did get new bullish structure yesterday. Let's take a look, or 2 days ago. The next fib pong would be here. And that'd be pretty standard. Like if that does happen, right? Difference between calling for it and exploring the potential for it to happen. Like sweep that low, right? Whatever this looks like, I don't know. Bink. Everyone's like a bear again. And then it's like, rah! So again, I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm holding my spot, not really worried about it. I'm so confident in this in the midterm, long term, given what we've seen. And if we get down into here, all I will be thinking about is longing it. I will not be thinking suddenly that I need to short it. But we have to let that develop, because the market is this interesting thing, right? Every day you get new information, and it's best to, I shouldn't even be saying that. I shouldn't say what I'll do when price gets here, even though it's not there yet, because by the time that happens, we will have new information and I'll have to make a decision based on that. But generally speaking, these are the kinds of things I look for. And it keeps me out of trouble. Keeps me out of a lot of trouble. I really wanted to just take any tether and USDC I had and just plow it into Ethereum up here last night. I really, really had this strong urge. I said, why am I not 100% long? And the reason is, if I'm 100% long here, I suddenly have very tough decisions to make if anything changes in the trajectory. I have to maintain that cash position. And if I'm going to get into it in a fuller way, I need to do it in places like pump chaser zones, reload zones. So keep an eye on this for you guys, of course, throughout the week. Solana. Really excited to see this. I mean, this thing's just been sort of teasing highs, pump chaser zone, wash the stops, back up, break out to new highs, retest this key level that's been getting a lot of play basically since back in October. And I mean, look at that this morning, just a perfect little boop. And now it's just taken off to make a new high on the year. So Solana looking really good, cheap, fast, going to supplement Ethereum. I think it's got tons of promise, and I've got a bag. Let's see. I was looking at Balancer earlier. What's Balancer doing? Pulling back a little here. Keep the requests coming, guys. It is one of those days where we're going to have to wrap pretty close to the hour. Producer's got installation happening today that he needs to get to right around the top of the hour. But oh yeah, and quick shout, guys. We got Scott Melker on the stream on Wednesday. He'll be on at 4 p.m. So we're actually going to have a slightly different time. So if you're thinking ahead to Wednesday and you'd like to come see, we'll be on at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 hours later than our usual start, because his stream runs at a similar time. So we can't obviously be on each other's stream at the same time. So Melker in the house on Wednesday at 4. And then we're going to go on a special broadcast on Thursday at 2 regular time. It will not be around on Friday. I'm actually in the process of moving. So we're going to skip Friday. But we are going to replace it on Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, back to back. Be there or be square. I'll see you guys there. Just want to get that out there. How did Neo turn out? Didn't see what TL expected, but I'm going to. Okay, let's take a look. Balancer. Yeah, I mean, Balancer looks like it's ready to go parabolic, but zooming in, this is not a place where I go decide I'm going to be a bull. It's just not. These higher lows are places where I would like to be a bull. So if it does get caught up here and then just kind of a little wee, then I can start to get interested. But yeah, that's what I was looking at earlier. Okay, let's see. Neo BTC. Yeah, I mean, look, this is the thing. So this is what I'm seeing in all kinds of coins right now. And you guys know, like, I've talked about this a lot, where down, big volume coming in. You can check these. I bet there's bullish divergence, right? Where the price kept going down, but suddenly the momentum indicators were shifting bull. Yep, RSI here, not making a lower low, right? So that means like the internal strength of the price is actually stronger, while the price is looking weaker. Gives you a hint. So you're getting this all over the altcoin market, and then tons of buy volume coming in, significant to basically the whole last year. I mean, since arguably the last little cycle started. But bottoms don't typically just form on a pivot and then go. That's just not really how it works, unfortunately. It'd be way more fun if that did work that way. Often what we see, and we see it on Ethereum, right? Didn't rush to go all in on this first impulse, even though the buy volume was strong, because you got to understand that these things take time. I don't think it'll take this long. It's 2 fucking years. But I do not be shocked if you get something like this on these altcoins versus Bitcoin. Do not be shocked. Don't put yourself in a position to lose all your money if that happens, because that's normal. That's what I would actually expect, even though I'm positioned for it, to benefit me if it just goes like this. But a long meandering bottom, and then by the time it's really time to go, everyone's sleeping. They're not even looking at them, or they're shaking out. That is typically how these things go. So we'll see how that goes. That's what I'm watching. So I can't, in good conscience, rush to take new positions right here, especially with what I see on this Bitcoin chart. Show you what I see. 4 hour. Bitcoin, again, we're talking about pairs versus Bitcoin right now. And we just hit this 4 hour MA. So the moving average in a bull, 4-hour moving average, 20 MA, it tends to get a lot of play on the price. And so when we're in a rip-roaring bull, consolidating, boop, touch, and go. We've touched it now. So this consolidation may be near the end of its time. We'll see. Came up and tagged this key throwback today to a T. Actually had this written on there before. I didn't trade it, but really nice to see it getting touched. And that's 34.8, basically 35,000. And now we're just at this bullish throwback. So we're in a sandwich zone, but I mean, you guys can see this bullish market structure confirmed on this 4-hour, decent volume, not nothing, right? New high on the local volume. So, I could see Bitcoin making a play here. And that means, well, what would that look like? I'm actually positioning myself for that to happen. I think a lot of my altcoin positions, I'm not touching my Solana, just longer term on that one. I'm really pumped about it. But like, ooh, and it's very uncomfortable what I did today, because I mean, this is my setup on Algorand, and it's not done, hasn't seen itself through yet. But I didn't cut the whole thing, but I mean, I picked it up down here. It's up here. I took profit on maybe half of it. It was a little sizable because I was on margin, because it was so tight against these lows that I thought, fuck it, size up. So I did close half today. And, if Bitcoin does decide to wake up and tags this level and just continues on, I mean, that'd be totally normal. Consolidation up into here. And then who knows, right? Maybe it's just more of this, or maybe it's like, hey, Bitcoin's back, bitches. Biden's printing money. And in that case, these kinds of charts are going to get washed out pretty hard. Not be like, I'm going down forever, but like what we talked about a second ago, kind of this. That kind of thing. So just to protect against that. Now, I think algo is about to go fucking bananas. Like, all things considered, that's just looks really good. It's at resistance. So of course it's not going to break through right away. It should chop here. But I've still got half my position, which is, again, decent size on it. And I hope it does work out. But again, I took some profit in here this morning because this confirmation. It's the first time since this little downtrend that Bitcoin printed a higher high. So to me, this is the beginning potentially of a 4-hour trend reversal. And I don't want to be balls deep in altcoins versus Bitcoin for that. I still am. I don't have it open here, my Delta app, but I'm still very much like exposed to altcoins. But some of my larger versus Bitcoin positions I did trim today, and that's just the way she goes. So we'll see. Kind of a win if it comes down. I can reload what I sold, and it's a successful short. If it breaks out and hits this, it's probably my first target, something like that, against these lows. So let's check the chat as I get and rambled. Miriam, thank you. Subscribed and liked. Appreciate that. Like you too. Staking for rewards. Fundamentals look good. Yep. Okay. Yo. Moon over Mints. Good to see you. Yeah, appreciate that, man. It has a big buyer today. Okay. Didn't notice that. Who's buying today? Would like to see. I mean, somebody's buying. Get that volume up into the close today. That's 16 minutes actually. So like, yeah, right here, it's made a new high. We really want to see this volume a little higher. So, I'm long on Solana. What can I say? I'm not selling it. I don't care if it comes in, might even add a little. Like, I just really like this coin. I think everything about this, what they've built there, is it's one of those ones that, like I said earlier, right? If I don't research the project and there's something that I find boring or downsidey about it, I will sell because I don't have the conviction. On this one, I have the conviction. I'm not too worried about it short term. In fact, I'm ready to like delete it from my portfolio and just friggin' park it. Pull it off the exchange, just sit there. That's probably what I should do. Okay. And Edge Share RT. What do you like for the new entrants on Share? And do you think USDX will gain adoption? A lot of negativity algo stablecoins. Yeah, algo stablecoins were, they definitely had a flash in the pan event where ESD took everyone's imagination, printing money. DSD cloned it, came out. Dollar Protocol. Now, we've talked about this a lot. Dollar Protocol has the staying power. They've got the idea They've got the dev. It was never about like, let's come out and clone something and let's do this. So I have full faith in the ongoing development. But when you look at this chart, it is hard to like, at least until I'm here on the higher time frames, and I don't know where this is going to go. I feel uncomfortable being like, it's going down to 33 cents, given what I know is in development. I mean, they're about to launch their second stablecoin built on top of this protocol. In other words, in positive rebase, the USDX rewards get distributed in part to the shareholders. They're going to have a digital yen. So they're adding a whole new currency. And as that positive rebase occurs, the rewards from that will also go to shareholders. So I expect that to be a fairly bullish event. We've got as a community for Share Dollar Protocol, there is a call to arms. I mean, you've got to get integrations now, right? Where is the demand for USDX other than speculating that there will be a rebase and you can have some money? Right now, it is stuck in a bit of a debase phase, shaking out whoever doesn't want to be there. 86 cents, pretty comfortably just kind of hanging out down there. So that stings. You can go into XBond and you can protect yourself from debase, but you don't get any of that back until later on when it's back in positive. You're putting a little bit of faith in the protocol. I happen to have a lot of my USDX in XBond, which is kind of like a peace of mind. It's like, oh, well, it's gone now. Roll YOLO, baby. Comes back. It's not. Like, it is what it is. I doubt that this is going to just, stay here. I think the idea of buying $1 for less than $1 is pretty attractive. I happen to know that there are a lot of upcoming, attempts. Like, there's just phone calls going everywhere. There's meetings. People are talking integrations with DeFi protocols, getting composability for the USDX coin so that it can be used on things like borrowing, lending, staking, all those fun things. So there is more coming. So I'm just kind of in wait and see mode with this one. Developing the product. And, I think for me, this is a more important chart. Let's go look at Share versus ETH, because Ethereum just confirmed a massive bullish structure. And when you have a major pair like that, like Bitcoin goes crazy, everything that trades against it goes down, right? So this is the bigger question for me. If I'm going to have Ethereum or value tied up in a coin, I want it to be the fastest horse. And it doesn't mean I'm jumping around horse to horse to horse to try to find that, but on like a higher time frame trend shift, in general, I am leaning Ethereum based on this chart. In general, I am leaning altcoins based on this chart, right? Bitcoin dominance going down. I mean, strong bounce today, sure, but the trend is clear. And so even if it like does this, it's still a downtrend, right? It's a downtrend until it does this and then that. It has to put in a higher high, a higher low, and a higher high. Like, it is so far away from anything that resembles a trend reversal. So yes, I am leaning altcoins. So when I chart things now, I'm actually, because I'm bullish on altcoins versus Bitcoin, and I'm bullish on Ethereum versus altcoins, I need altcoins that are showing bullish versus ETH. And for now, DP needs a little time. I should say Share. Specifically, Share needs a little time. It is kind of coming into this key support level, looking heavy. Of course, in these consolidations, it always looks really bullish when it goes up a bit and really bearish when it goes down. And that is the nature of consolidation. So no real loss here until these lows go. And when that happens, because this wick is ridiculous, I don't even think it ever traded up there. I would actually probably be inclined to use the candle body highs. Ignore the noise. And look at that. Nice little sweet spot. So this is pretty standard stuff. Big breakout, retract into the RLZ. And it's uncanny how many people lose faith in things that they're trading or holding on to while they're in these like perfect reload zones. And then you just chop around, selling, buying, accumulating, selling, buying, and then it's just bing, if successful. So that's what I'm watching for on Share. Really excited to see the launch of the new yen stablecoin. It's going to be the first time that some algorithmic stablecoin protocol had two built on top. And we'll see what kind of demand can be generated for the yen token. It's not my currency. Never met anyone who uses it, but I know in Japan, a lot of people use it. And there's probably a lot of DeFi apps that can be compelled to integrate it in some way. So we'll be looking into that. RT, they're planning to add no DBase pool, also being voted on now. Good to know. Yeah, exactly. Because if you're LPing, if you're providing liquidity for a pair and you're just getting debased, you'll lose your liquidity. That's important. So I'm glad to hear that they're working on that. Thank you for sharing Edge. So guys, for those of you who aren't reading the chat, it sounds like the USDX USDC pool is going to be protected from debase, which raises the question, what is the utility of XBond other than the big fat 50% of rewards? But we'll see. Bull on share, amazing devs, community leaders. Yeah, bullish on it. Found your channel yesterday, loving your content. Would you take a look at MMED? Ooh, Jackson guy, thanks for that kind shout. And I will take a look at MMED. In fact, I should have taken a look at it earlier today before the stream because I got an alert on it today at 4:20. 4:20. So this is a mushroom stock, if I'm not mistaken. That's actually one of the few I have. And I had a bid here today and I got an alert. So I'm assuming I was filled. I haven't checked my broker account yet. But I was bidding 420 because LOL 420 and it's like a drug stock. But mostly because it's this throwback after the breakout. So hopefully MMED is going to break out. Continued. I think it's looking okay. Again, I don't know fundamentals. I don't know stock to share, price book ratio. Like this is purely a TA play and the fact that it's a mushroom stock. So I am trying to build a basket of mushroom stocks, a basket of crypto stocks. Although full disclaimer, crypto stocks are very I won't say overvalued right now, but like they've all mooned pretty hard. Like this is what the crypto stocks look like. So I'm not trying to like rush in to add to these, but yeah, just a heads up. Future thinking in the 10-year range, I want to have a basket of crypto stocks. For the next 6 months, I don't know that I can buy this. I would expect, if I want to buy this, I need Riot to like chill the fuck out, come back down in here. I own some. I was loading up on Riot last year and Hut 8, and then I sold enough that it's like a free position. So I'm not selling that, but yeah, I need this to chill out before new positions. Galaxy Digital, same thing, right? These are going to come off a bit as Bitcoin cools down. It'll be interesting to see if Bitcoin continues, if these just keep going, or if they still just cool down independently because they went so fucking hard last year. Oof. Okay, what else do we got? Couple things were on your request. Jackson guy, ENBI. Ooh, biomedical, biomed. Oh, dude, look at this. Just like zoomed out and I look at this, I'm like, oh, look at that volume at what appears to be lows. All the things a growing boy needs. So that's good looking. A little bit lower volume on this latest high. Let's take a look at what ranges I can be thinking about. Perfect tag. Oh my God, this stuff, guys. Seriously. If you're doing TA, you're on TradingView, set your fibs up to mimic this one, pump chaser zone, pause, and you can just take a look at the settings. I mean, just play with these guys. If you're ever worrying about when to enter, RLZ is my favorite because you get such a nice entry and they do come in so often. But in a hot market, pump chaser zone, just so sexy. So yeah, this looks good, man. It's trending up, period. There's no signs of trend reversal. Cannot call tops. It is too late for me to rush in at this exact level. I'm trying to buy this. I need to at least see this. More likely because I don't really know this stock and I have no real interest in it. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if it comes down here, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. But that is not the same as saying I think it will come down there. I will take great interest in it if it does. In fact, 77. If it goes below 77 cents, I want to know. So I'm going to set that alert. All right, let's see. Scott is caught up and paid. FUD. Haha. Chris Richards. Let's just check. I'm losing the comment. Where was it? Bloody hell, mate. Bloody hell. Oh, Jackson guy. Yeah. SNX. Okay, last one. Let's go see SNX. I don't know if that's a stock or if you're looking for like synthetics. It's a crypto show, so I'm going to show you synthetics. But if you wanted to see the stock, I guess we could do that too. I see there's an SNX on the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah, like, look, guys, this is the same kind of thing, and I'm seeing it in a lot. And it's not about calling tops, but it's more about, can I get in? So when I see a big rally, I'm like, yay for everyone in that coin. Pump chaser zone filled, push to new highs, divergence, divergence, lower volume. This does mean I can't buy it, period. I mean, I just can't. But I might if we get some little roll down. So I don't know what that looks like. I mean, this is a USDT pair. If that comes off, does that mean the market's come off? I don't think the market's going to come off. I don't know, though. But this is the nice thing about having this trade plan is, like, I don't really have to know what's going to happen. I just have sets of rules and I can follow them. And following them, because I vetted the plan, because I know what my probability outcomes are, and because I know that I will risk X to gain Y, and Y is greater than X by a factor of whatever. Once you figure all that out, knowing what's going to happen is irrelevant. Simply following rules. I'm not robotic. I'm not that level yet. I'd like to get robotic about it, but this is an area where it's like, if I was long, I'm selling here just on a trade. Like, one of my trades is just to do that. Catch the breakout, catch the retest, first take profit, second take profit up in the short RLZ. And then, of course, this up tweezer top kind of looking thing, not too great, with Bitcoin sort of confirming that structure like we talked about. And honestly, if I was a betting man, which I am, I'd say we get continuation here from Bitcoin, at least up into this, or up into this. Do we break this high? Do we sweep these liquidity pools? Who knows? But this is 4-hour bullish confirmation of a reversal. So caution should be warranted for anything trading against Bitcoin. Just like if the Dixie goes and rallies, everything trading against that, probably want to just be cautious. So those are my thoughts. Pond. The hell's Pond? Let's take a look at Pond. DS has a knack for being very good at spotting juicy charts. I'm assuming you're looking at Marlin. Maybe we should be looking versus ETH, because be outperforming Ethereum. It can be bullish as it wants, but if it's losing versus ETH, why waste my time, right? Why waste your time? Why not just be sitting in ETH? Want to find the thing that's bullish versus the thing that's bullish. Fastest horse. Oh, see, now look. And here's the thing. So for anyone who, like, you guys get on here, you're like, hey, check out this coin, check out that coin, check out this stock. And I'm like, I might get it, I might not. If it comes down to my level, I will. You can see now, as a trader with no real, association or attachment to any of the coins that I'm trading, there's some exceptions where I make pre-sale investments and all that. And I'm like, okay, I'm supporting this. I will not just exit because it's in a profit zone. I'm going to hold some through. And yes, I'm going to risk missing, some of the gain that came in. But as a trader, where I'm just like, okay, I've got some ETH, got some USD, got some friggin' Bitcoin. Let's see, what are we going to buy? I'm only buying things that are in my zones for the most part, unless I get a hot tip from someone who's like, new all-time highs, let's pump it. But generally speaking, so then, yeah. And that's why you can do that, because, yeah, you pass on this, you pass on that, you miss this, you miss that, who cares? But every single thing you're getting is in some sweet, sexy little area. You end up with longer term upside, right? I hope that makes sense. Marlin looks good in a sort of where it is. So location is just the first part for me. Location, pretty decent. It's in the reload zone, or at least it's just above it. Then I want to see divergence. I want to see that it's coming into that zone, but the momentum is actually slowing. And that's exactly what I see. The MACD just flipped bullish even as new lows are coming in. MACD's going up. Well, the RSI less so. Maybe a tiny one here. Let's see. Yep. Tiny little divergence at the bottom for the RSI. Not quite an oversold. So not as strong a signal, but mediocrely strong signal here. And I think if I was bullish on this asset, this is a place I'd be paying very close attention. And somebody just went and bought it. Who did that? Who did that? Don't be on the stream rushing off to buy random shit, guys. I'd love to say that everything we look at is going to be the best thing you could buy, but in the end, if your approach to the market is to market buy things people talk about, I'm so sorry to say, but you may end up losing your shirt. But anyways, yeah. I heard about Marlin too. Is it a really strong project? Let's take a look. 23 mil market cap, 171 fully diluted. Okay, get a clear picture of where it stands in the value structure of the world. Marlin, it's been on a few short lists. Accelerated decentralized communication, open protocol that provides high performance programmable network infrastructure for DeFi and Web 3.0. Sounds promising. Sounds like it's got all the right fixings. Would have to look a lot deeper, obviously, guys. But, yeah. Oh, where is it? There it is. Okay. God, yeah. Okay, Johnny, add it to the list. Let's take a look at Pond. After the stream, we'll have a little gander. Speaking of after the stream, oh my God, it's 3:00. Okay. Rapid fire for a couple of minutes, guys. Let's get through it. What do we got? Can. Check out Can, producer of Avalon Miners. Stock? Question mark. Gonna have to wait for you to get back. Nope. I mean, this looks like a reasonably bullish chart. Not gonna lie. Is this the one we're looking at, or is this a random stock that I'm now charting? But sitting in that zone after a pretty decent burst off the bottom formation with volume, growing volume. Let's see. Yeah, pump chaser zone. Can. Look at this name. Can Inc. spawn ads each rep 15 or SHSCLA one day. What the hell kind of ticker is that? Yeah, I mean, this is a sweet looking chart. What can I say? Have to look into the fundamentals a bit maybe, but pump chaser zone. After a strong move off the bottom, a retrace to what looks like a 618. Let's go see exactly. Kind of like that some stocks came up today. I have a stock portfolio now that I have to actually put some positions on. Look at that sweet spot. Hell yeah. Yeah, this looks decent, man. Climbing the stairs. I mean, so that's it, right? That's the name of the game. Finding the thing that is in an uptrend. Trend is your friend. Or, breaking out of the bottom if you're perfect. But finding an uptrend and then getting in at those higher lows. Not here when it's easy to buy and then, squeezed out. Easy to buy when it's going up, squeezed out, but getting into these strategically placed higher lows, and you can see people do, and they do use fibs apparently, or fibs are just magic because the bases seem to form at all these key levels. Very good shout. Okay, John, last one. CAN, NASDAQ stock. Market closes an hour. I'm going to take a look at this one. $13 IPO. Wow. So it's below IPO value. And yeah, question for you guys in the chat. Anyone watching right now, would you prefer a earlier or later stream? Because we're considering moving out of the 2 p.m. slot because a few reasons. But we also noticed near or the end of the stream, we pick up a lot of viewers. So we're like, okay, should we be just streaming a little later? Whatever fits you guys. I mean, we have the option to do both. So hit us up in the chat right now. This is a live poll. And if I'm leaning towards maybe doing a little later, 3:00, something like that. We'll see. But what are your guys' thoughts? Because that's what counts the most. CFI. Oh, yeah. How's it doing? Moving? Yeah. Coming down to retest these highs. Let's get a nicer fib on there. Always just starting with a fib to give myself a visual of the structure. And my buddy used to tease me, say, all you do is fibs. I'm like, yeah, they work. Have a nice day. They speak to me, right? The beautiful thing about trading, guys, you could watch 10 different very successful traders and they'll all use 10 different very successful approaches. And that's why it's such a personal thing. You ask somebody, say, oh, how do you do it? What are your setups? What's your strategy? And people early on, you guys probably get this a lot too. If you ask someone, they're like, oh, well, I don't know, man, you got to develop your own. I can give you a few ideas, but at the end, it's so personal. And that used to drive me nuts, but now I get it. So if you guys, you know, if you're ever watching the stream repeatedly and you're like, why does it just keep doing the same things? It's like the golden goose in trading is to find something that is simple, repeatable, and profitable. And that's what I've done for myself with these. But the glue of all of that is risk management. Whether you like hearing about that every day or not, it's true. Because if I get blown out on something and I lose $1,000 and then I get 3 winners in a row and they only pay me $200, I am a loser. I am losing money, even though I had more wins. You have to manage your downside versus your upside on every single trade if you're going to trade. If you want to ape into something that's near a bottom and just say this is going to be higher next year and that's your style, that's, again, different styles, different strokes, different folks. But I plan to trade all markets in all directions for a long time. So I cannot afford that approach. I have to use my own, and that's what we all go on about here each day. Push it back an hour or 90 later. Yeah, B2 wins. That's kind of what we're leaning towards. Earlier, or at least this slot. Could not attend if you decide to move stream time later. Oh, geez. And see, Diaz, and that's the thing that sucks about that question. If we move it later, it's going to screw somebody. If we move it earlier, it's going to screw someone. And where it is right now is probably making it hard for someone to watch. So we're going to take that into consideration, DS. But if we do end up moving it later, please don't be offended. We will have to appreciate you on the more rewatch abilities if possible. Look at that volume, as you noted, on MPH. What are you talking about? CFI? I mean, yeah, CFI is just rising volume. Didn't make a new high here for sure. But this is significant, right? Dying, growing. So I think that this is an uptrend with trending up volume. We'll have to see how this shakes out this week. We're going to wrap it up here today, guys. Keeping a close eye on Bitcoin. This 4-hour close just now was not too hot. And it looks like this is just the first candle, though, so who cares? Hasn't closed yet. But this rejection here was pretty swift. So we're going to need to bounce here and continue. Otherwise, this little chop zone is going to continue. Let's see here. Looks like, yeah, I mean, so probably from here. So we're kind of sitting in this like local pump chaser zone. You know, we're above the 4-hour 20 MA. So anything in here, I'm not really panicked or worried. But I will not rule out downside ever. It could happen. So I could ask myself, you know, what would happen if, you know, whatever, if we just like crap out? How wrecked would I be? Can I pay my rent? Can I feed my family? You got to ask yourself these questions. And if the answer is anything but, yeah, I'm good, just check yourself now. And then ask yourself, you know, what happens if I go up here? Would I have a gain? How much cash am I sitting on? Okay? Like, understand all scenarios and then just try to apply yourself in a way and deploy your capital in a way that makes sense. So we are coming off a little bit here. I think at least for a check of this 20 MA as we just chop around through it. It's going to be exciting. Going to be exciting to see how everything shakes out in the next little bit. As always, I think we can just take a very quick look at the weekly views from our thread today to wrap up. Oh, I already had that up. Yeah. Okay, good. So ETH BTC down to the pump chaser zone, question mark, probably a good opportunity. I mean, definitely a good opportunity if it does get down there. That's what I'll be watching. Bitcoin, kind of a smackdown today. Kind of getting, you know, key battleground is up here. The weekly, you know, daily, we did get bearish market structure confirmed. Talked about that last week. We've come up, bearish retest. Yeah, there's definitely room for a little cool down here, guys. So then the big question is, what's going on with the dominance? Still going down. So that is a really good news. Trending down. So things may outpace Bitcoin in the next little bit. And then generally, I'm just really bullish on this stuff. So if I can accumulate Bitcoin on the way down, whether, you know, Bitcoin price craps out or not, if I'm accumulating more, I'm comfortable with that. My time horizon is long enough that I can deal with that. Check this out. This was interesting. Exclude BTC. The altcoin total market cap. Gotta get the log. Get the auto. Oop. So this is what I'm seeing. From like a perspective kind of level. Last time Bitcoin broke its all-time high, shortly after, the altcoin market cap exploded. Bitcoin broke its all-time high. We've started trending up. I would be really, really shocked if this was some kind of top. But the weekly candle on this can be very volatile, and it feels like you're losing tons of money and all things are going crazy. And meanwhile, you look back and it's just one of these little blips, one of these little dots on the chart. So I'm trying to keep that perspective, because as you can see here, it was almost like an 8-week period around the all-time high for Bitcoin that there wasn't much movement. And then it was just like, boom. And so, past performance, not indicative of future results, but I can only base, some of my analysis on this. And that's what I see. So we've started to see some pretty strong moves up. ETH BTC just confirmed a very strong level breakout. If we pull back at all, for me, that's a pump chaser zone dip to buy. And then this, I mean, God, if this breaks all-time highs, forget about it. I just don't see a world where it doesn't. I just don't. It's possible. I'm going to give it like very, very, very low probability. It's just a matter of when, and then how far pulling back if it doesn't go right away. And then what does that look like? What kind of stomach do I have to sit on that and be comfortable holding through, so I don't risk selling what is ultimately the dip of all dips, generational buying opportunity. So move the schedule and join Lads Live right now. Bruno, giving a hot tip. I would like to jump back on there with you guys at some point. Absolutely. We'll be in touch with Q. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day. We're going to flip back to the studio for my scarecrow. Coming at you live with a 4K camera sometime in the near future, as I can fix this bloody input for today. Rendezvous said, no, sir, no, you shall not. Basically just gave you all my thoughts on what I'm seeing in the market, always preaching caution as we approach what is going to be a bull market, in my mind, continued for quite a while. And so it's more about, caution is less about like, oh, what are you going to miss? It's more about making sure that you're there for the entire ride, no matter what. Keep your shirt. Have a wonderful day, guys. We'll be back on Wednesday at 4 p.m. with Scott Melker. Thursday. Oh my God, there I am. Hello. 4 p.m. on Wednesday and 2 p.m. on Thursday for a special broadcast as we head into an early weekend here in the lab. So thanks for joining us today, guys. If you haven't already and you want to hit us up with a like and a sub, we appreciate it a lot. It goes a long way for us. And the bosses, they look at it and they say, hey, these guys are doing a good job. Anyways, guys, talk soon. And whatever you do, always play from a position of strength.